Good morning and welcome to Straight Talk live on Echo FM 100.7. It is another beautiful month. Happy new month to everybody. And of course, how was your weekend done?
Just fine.
All right. I do hope that everybody had a great weekend. And of course, it's a brand new month. And today is the first edition for this month in the month of March 2026. The second day, right? And of course, March, I say, Jaja, we don't go. Just a few days ago, Happy New Year, we're already in March. And then that's how life goes and goes and goes on. But of course, March started with, well, I don't even know the right word to use. The world is like on fire in the Middle East. The United States and Israel had opened war on Iran. And this war now is going round the entire Middle East, from Bahrain to Qatar to UAE to Saudi Arabia to Kuwait, and now in Jordan, Hezbollah has launched attack in Israel. Of course, that toll have started being counted. 3 soldiers from the United States have been killed, and of course others injured. 9 soldiers from Israel are dead, but it's like almost the entirety of the Iranian top military and leadership has been taken out by the United States and Israel strike. So today we give you updates on that war going on in the United States of America versus Iran versus Israel, and now all these proxies. And the breaking news on that war is that Saudi Arabia has given the bin Ahmad has given the all clear to attack Iran. Saudi Arabia is now joining. They said it is uncalled for Iran to drop bombs in their own country, and they will not tolerate that. They said they have closed their airspace for U.S. not to use their airspace, but still Iran dropped missiles in Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia has now declared that they are going to retaliate. Qatar is retaliating. Kuwait wants to retaliate. Can Iran survive this? Don?
I'm not really sure at all. Well, in as much as they are actually seeing Iran as a small country or a country who cannot actually, do what they think they can do. But let's not say never. We never can tell.
Well, I think everybody should just join us on this very beautiful first edition of Straight Talk in the month of March. As usual, my name is Barry Cosmos, the Radio Marshal, and of course, I've got my microphone partner here, Mrs. Dawn.
Judge Dawn.
Judge Dawn. Okay, you want to call it Judge Dawn? All right, let me, my crema now, Judge Dawn, that's how it goes, Judge Dawn, I got to cram down.
Happy new month, Barry.
Thank you. Happy new month to everybody under the sound of our voices. And of course, it's a pleasure to be with you. So today, that is what we'll be taking a look at today. The cause of this war, what exactly has happened. Remember, we had a 12-day war last year. It just happened that after just 6 months, they are now going on a full-scale blown war. This one is no longer like dropping bomb and going back to one Iran. It's consistent. Donald Trump has said the war will continue for as long as possible. Yeah. Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu said this time around they want to make sure Iran is never going to be a threat to Israel. So where do we go from here? The Middle East is on fire, and now the fallout from that war is what is going to affect even Nigeria, because the oil prices are beginning to skyrocket. So there are a lot of fallout from this war. That is what we are going to be talking about today. Everybody, welcome aboard to the main event on radio. Before we do that, as usual, let's take a look at what the papers are saying this morning. All right, we start off with a Nigerian news point at this very hour. During the first story we take here is Pentecostal bishops demand Nnamdi Kanu's immediate and unconditional freedom. That is what the news point is reporting this morning. Imo at 50 honors award on Egu Eke, Okegbu, and Dan Sach. Ngokpala community leader applauds Uzodima and says gesture mode made council proud and decries treatment of LGA in Owerri politics. Ngokpala has been complaining a whole lot these days, and of course, recognizing their sons for the award is something they cherish now. Ngokpala is one of the biggest local governments in Imo State. They have terrible roads. They have been
Yes, that's what I
complaining.
wanted to say.
They have terrible roads there. Emerewe Road, Jesus. If you wear white clothes and pass that road, your name is sorry. The cloth will change from it is white to it was white and all that. Then you have other communities there. I think there's one village in Butu. I went to that village. The sunfly that beat the living out of me in that place. I mean, they have a whole lot of things they are battling with. And Ngokpala is saying they have been treated badly in the political schemes and all that. Well, what do you make of that story? 2027, I made it to opposition parties. Your selfish style is Nigeria's problem, not Tinubu. Whoa, what does that mean? Amechi, hey, what did I... of the news point and get more details. Don't let us to this one.
Okay, Didon Integrated Agency felicitates Agbasonu on his birthday.
All right. And this one says what?
Beneficiaries receive 500,000 as corporate seeks to alleviate poverty in Imo.
And what's this? Is it Christus Health Raf also on his birthday? And exposed. Avo youths revolt over alleged 200 million naira land deal and finger oro and demolish fence.
Yes.
Well, this story is a developing story. I got some few calls about this. I don't know much about the story yet, but we'll definitely find out. I hear Zumbi say APC faults impunity, injustice against loyal grassroots. Okay. As the crack started, so many of the opposition will be happy to hear that kind of news. All right, let's move on now to the Star Post Express. The Star Post Express, the front burner says what done?
Imo LP leader Maduka doles out 20 million naira as party unveils new secretariat in Owerri. Appreciates Nedi Usman's address to LP members.
Nenadi, that's
Nenadi Usman's address.
Nenadi Usman. She is the current leader of Labour Party as the chairperson, acting chairperson of Labour Party. Of course, Abure is still going to court and all that. Okay, let's take the next one. Okigwe Zone Youths mandate applauds Imo Governor Uzodinma over road revolution in Okigwe Zone. All right, and the comments Ruby MLA for facilitating them. Also on the Star Post Express, Imo lawmaker Honorable Innocent Ikpamezie sponsors 340 students for 2026 JAM. All right, and we head on now to other newspapers still on the local front. This time around, the Authority newspaper. On the front burner, done.
Okay, police warn against importing foreign conflicts into Nigeria.
All right, this is a very serious warning because as it's happening there, some people, especially the radicalized people, will now begin to do the same thing happening in Iran here in Nigeria.
They want to bring it here.
They want to bring it here. That's crazy. We don't want to see none of that here. Nobody wants to see any of that. Tinubu's wife eulogizes Pastor Adeboye at 84. Whoa, Adeboye is 84 years?
Yes.
Oh, Baba. All right, and he hails enduring legacy. Nice one. Iran appoints Aliaza Arafi to Supreme Leadership Council. Well, as part of the updates, Khamenei is dead. The news in Iran has since broken that news. They hid it for about 48 hours, but definitely it had come out. They have announced it that he is now dead alongside his daughter and the son-in-law. So these are all very, very strong, I think, feat achieved by Israel, but a terrible one for the followers of the Revolutionary Guard in Iran. Now, we will give you more details on all that. And Tinubu needs second time to complete reform, says Oyetola. Who are you in the movie, Oyetola? That's what some opposition people will be asking. NDLEA intercepts a Togolese woman with 5,000 tramadol pills and nabbed 6 others. Whoa. this weekend we had I think NDLA also accosted some people at Njaba, where they were producing what they locally call Mkpurumiri and the rest of them. I mean, this illicit drug is beginning to become a thing in Nigeria now, and people are taking it. I don't even know what tramadol does for you health-wise, apart from the fact that you have artificial strength. People go and take strength because of somebody's daughter. I don't understand. What exactly do you need tramadol for? Is it meant for treatment? What is it treating in your body system? Only to give you unnecessary false strength that will wither away, that if you keep depending on it.
Yeah, consistent.
It's just like the GMO thing. You eat GMO, it means you continuously buy drugs to keep GMO not affect you. Tramadol does the same thing. I don't know why people keep doing it. But well, it is what it is, man. Let's head on now to the national dailies. On the national dailies, we'll start up with the Daily Post newspaper done.
Yeah. Lagos residents groan as tenants pay millions for substandard housing.
Oh.
It's everywhere anyway.
Residents of Lagos are grappling with an unprecedented surge in house rents as accommodation costs across the metropolis continue to rise. It is not like Lagos is in isolation. In Imo State here, if you know you are staying in a house, make peace with your landlord if you get problem. Because when you park, another time you go realize, say, that place where they stay better for you.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a house now in Imo, nowhere, hey, God of mercy. First, the agents are so annoying to the bone. They bring in charges. Now I'm hearing management charge.
Hardened. Yes.
Which one is management charge again? In land and want to rent a house, management charge. You pay for agreement, you pay for caution, you pay for agent. Then I bring management charge. As what, Kwanu? Who is doing the management? Are you the one supposed to come and keep repairing the house? What exactly is management charge? And this thing doesn't come in 1 naira.
Yes.
It's from 100,000 upwards. It's not funny. And the government keeps looking at this. They talk to say, now landlord building house, you build house for me. Agents wonder if you mode one block, now then they won't set price now this for house. And the worst one is lawyers. If they give them a property to handle, the next thing they do is, boom, they use their hand in order to get
everything.
In order to get what is it called, commission for agreement write-up. They will do everything to eject all the old tenants so they can put people and collect agreement money. I mean, this is getting too much. We need to have a law that maybe everybody, if you know you're aggrieved by this, go to the State House of Assembly, go and propose a bill to have a cap on certain things in Imo State so people will have some peace. It's getting too much. Well, on the other hand, when you look at what new houses, I can understand with the new houses, not old houses that was inherited from great-grandfather who built the house with 30 naira. And then people will now come around. If they do one renovation, oh Jesus, every house that used to be 300,000 is now like 1.5. Before you now pay agreement, pay everything. For one bedroom flat is now 1.5, 2 million. Self-contained 1 million. What's the meaning of this? What's going on? If we talk, say building materials are cost, this one is cost. The other one landlord told me that from here in they get money to pay in children's school fees. They do. No. So as they increase things in the market, and so in they increase his own. That is his own ideology. But how should it be so? Everything still boils down to the government policies that is making life so difficult. Very soon people will start sleeping under trees and shanties and the rest of them. Anyway, that's the situation. 2027, INEC calls for simple language version of Electoral Act. Meaning what now? Simple language. What did that mean? Are you aware that the deputy speaker, was that his name? Was it Jibri or something? Was attending to an ambassador yesterday and was explaining why Nigeria chose to give double method of collation, both manual and electronic. He openly said because Nigeria cannot rely solely on the network. So that's the problem. And
that's what Amopiton is also saying. I think he came out and said we should relax, that we're going to get 100% of this election by 2027. And then he came out again and said we should not just rely on it, that it might not be 100%. So we shouldn't just conclude.
So he's speaking from both sides of his mouth. they need to understand that this is a very serious matter.
Okay.
And then what really caught my attention in that interview or the conversation they had is that he said in order to make voter apathy not to.
Yeah.
What is causing voter apathy? Is it not the Electoral Act?
I will not blame him. I hope you know that.
Who?
We already know what is actually happening. So I think I told you that there's something under
the carpet.
Under the water. Has not yet come out.
Okay. Now I can say the water within day. But I know Tamiri water in there. I don't know. But at the end of the day, the whole voter apathy it stems from the fact that Nigerians don't trust the process.
Yeah.
The only thing that would have given them that surge and eagerness to go and vote, they killed it. And then they say it's because of that same thing, the apathy. They brought two methods. Apathy from who, Kwanu? Who needs manual collation? That is what Nigerians are asking. If you snap this thing and you post it and there's no network, anytime you go to network, it drops. It's just like a text message or a WhatsApp message.
They know.
No network, you go to where network is, boom, it will drop. Up. So I don't know what language, what kind of explanation. Now, they have tried to convince Nigeria no work. They're trying to convince the diaspora community. Well, only time will tell. ICPC recovers alleged wiretapping device from Aerofy's residence. Aerofy, now you use your hand, put yourself for trouble.
Period.
The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission said it recovered suspected wiretapping equipment allegedly capable of intercepting private conversations and accessing sensitive security documents from the Abuja residence of former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai. So the government can tap your own calls, but nobody can tap them.
Yes.
Try. Oh, me tabo. All right, let's move on to the Punch newspaper. Done?
Okay. 2027 polls won't be 100% perfect, INEC chair warns.
From I'll give you the best now to it will not be 100% perfect. That is what INEC chair. You have started speaking from both sides of our mouth. We try our best to make sure people come out to vote, but every time they speak, they try to make sure people don't even come out for voting. This is the consequences of what will happen from when the INEC chairman speaks this way. Well, some people say he's trying to be honest. Some people will say, okay, he's just trying to make sure he does the bidding of whoever he's doing it for. I mean, for God's sake, there are certain comments public office holders should not be making. Because in this case now, it will not be 100%. So how many percent are we expecting from INEC? Since it's not 100, is it 20, 30, or 40%? What would not make it not to be 100%? So at the end of the day, there must always be lapses. There's nothing 100%, of course. No, nothing. No procedure is 100%. But you minimize it to the point where that things that go up is negligible. But in this case now, I don't want to talk again before they go say too harsh. Burkina Faso named new coach after early AFCON exit. All right, we have this other story. Cashless policy roller sparks airport gridlock. Yeah, cashless for airport. Anyway, pay with transfer or use your ATM card. Now the white men just carry phone. They'll just put the phone. But the thing don't
yes.
You don't need to press for all this pin and all that. People have left that a long time ago. Anyway, school owners fear 700,000 Ogun students may miss WAEC or WAS. Now, what do you make of this story now?
The new or the implementation that was actually done by WAEC is something that some schools are actually dreading. You know, they're not going to be writing with their papers anymore, apart from the theory part. So the objective part will solely be on the system. So some schools are actually complaining of that part because most of them don't have that, you know, need to actually buy these systems for these students to actually write their exams. So if they're going to actually drop out, it's something that the government, not the teachers or the headmistress or headmasters should do. It is the government that has that sole responsibility to ensure that these systems are provided for them to actually take their WAEC exams.
Well, thank you. We have this story that this particular, let me just give you details of what the Punch is reporting. Private schools proprietors in Ogun State have raised concern over what they described as stringent conditions imposed by the state government before granting clearance for students to register for May-June West African Senior School Certificate Examination, which is WAS.
Yeah.
The proprietors who spoke on condition of anonymity warned that over 70% of students in private schools across the state could miss this year's WAS if the issues are not urgently
addressed.
Yes, they allege that while schools in other states have largely completed registration with the West African
Examination
WAS,
Council,
Ogun State, we are facing all administrative challenges arising from new compliance requirements. One of our proprietors said the dispute centers on the mandatory requirement for students to possess a learner identification number before
registering for WAEC.
Which one be learner identification number again?
I thought it was only just NIM that was needed.
I don't get it. Multiple form of identification in this country. What exactly do they mean by it? So the issue we are having with the government revolves around making it mandatory for students to be registered for the WISE to have a learner identification number, though the lien is usually given to students by the government once enrolled in any school in the state. Okay. It is public or private. There has been so much chaos, complaints, and challenges with the online platform through which these numbers are generated. You see, the problem is not even from the schools or the children. It is from the state. Government. What exactly do you need this for? Is it to show that you're a student or what? Well, policies in Nigeria are meant just to cause confusion instead of solving problem. Anyway, let's open up the phone line for our listeners to add their voice to the conversation. 0911 20022 or 0707 454 1014. Those are the numbers to punch on.